we are going to discuss the classification of pressure vessels. This classification that is based on the various different aspects that is considered. That is, one is based on the geometrical shapes, that is whether it's a spherical, cylindrical, rectangular, square, trapezoidal, conical, and any possible geometrical shape that is also can be fabricated. However, mostly the cylindrical pressure vessels, spherical, and the conical bottom vessels, they are preferred because they are easy to fabricate. The level of difficulty increases with the complication of the shapes. So generally, it is the common shapes they're preferred. In addition to the shape, the combined vessels they are also used. Means without using a simple geometry, the two geometries that can be combined. For example, in case of a reactive distillation, the combined vessels, combined geometries can be used. Then based on uniformity of the shape, the complete uniform shape is used, whether it's a complete cylindrical shape is used, or the cylindrical shape with two or three different diameters. That means at various diameters, at various height, the diameters can be different. Then based on installation method, whether it is vertically installed or horizontally installed, that again depends on the process requirement. Then based on the presence of the internals, with internal and without internal, as we are putting the internals, the different applications that can be used. Means in case of reaction vessel, you are putting an agitator. Based on the internals, that is drums, tanks, generally it is the tanks, they are without any internals. We already talked the reaction vessels, in which the agitator that is used. Then in case of a heat exchanger, the different heat exchangers, the tubes they are used. In case of distillation column, the trays that can be used, as well as in case of a packed distillation column, the packing that can be used. Then the based on the pressure bearing situation, whether it's a low pressure vessel, moderate or the medium pressure vessels, high pressure vessel, and the ultra high pressure vessels. Then whether it is the external pressure vessel or an internal pressure vessel. External pressure vessel, that means the pressure operated, the vessels operated under the vacuum. Then based on the wall thickness, it's a thin wall vessel or a thick wall vessel. Thick wall vessels are used or preferred for high pressure vessels. Then based on technological processes, that is whether it is a reaction vessel or whether it is a heat exchanger, whether it's a separation column, whether it is a simple storage container vessel. Then based on the operating temperature, again there is a low temperature, normal temperature, medium temperature, and the high temperature. Then based on the design pressure, then the method of fabrication, method of fabrication. Based on the welded vessels or forged vessels, then multi-walled vessels, then wrapped vessels, bond wrapped vessels. Then the material used for fabrication, whether it's a metal that is used or it is a non-metal that is used. If you are using a metal, Then it is a ferrous metal or a non-ferrous metal that can be there. In case of ferrous metals, generally it's a steel, mild steel or carbon steel. They are most commonly used. Then based on the usage, that means it is fixed pressure vessel or a mobile pressure vessel. That means you can move the vessels also. In case of a tank that is available on the trucks, that is also one of the mobile vessels. Or the autoclaves, small autoclaves which are in the hospitals. Then based on the end construction, whether it is the open-ended or whether it is the closed-ended vessels. Then these vessels are spherical vessels. Spherical vessels, they are mostly used for the high pressure vessels, and now we will go discuss that in details. That is the based on the geometric shapes. Generally, it is the spherical vessels they are preferred. These spherical storage vessels are preferred for high pressure vessels and very strong. The pressure vessel, spherical pressure vessels, they are the most strongest vessels because the distribution of the pressure is uniform in these vessels. However, as in case of a cylindrical vessel, there is a joint in between the cylindrical shape and the head, and this cylindrical shape and the head joint, this is the weakest section for this cylindrical part. Then the for spherical vessel, the pressure used is double than the cylindrical vessels. Then minimum material is required and the maximum strength is there for the spherical vessels. The even distribution of the stresses is more in case of a spherical vessels. However, there is a difficulty in fabrication of these spherical vessels. There are so many joints are there in fabrication, and so that makes the spherical vessels more costlier. The advantages of spherical vessel that they provide the more uniform surface area, that is the smaller surface area per unit volume than any other shape of the vessel. This means that the quantity of the heat transferred from the warmer surrounding to the liquid in the sphere will be less than that for cylindrical or rectangular vessels. Then we can have the cylindrical vessels. Cylindrical vessels, these are the huge cylindrical vessels one can see. This vessel is having all the different attachments, a cylindrical shape which is available, the bottom head that is provided. These are the supports they are provided here, and they are the less expensive. However, at this joint where they change from cylindrical section to this spherical section or head section, this is the most weakest part of this cylindrical vessels. Then the rectangular vessels. These rectangular vessels, they are used for in case of a furnaces. Then the refrigerators, dryers, the different applications are used for rectangular vessels. Even in case of the silos, these rectangular vessels, they are provided. Then the conical vessels, these are mostly provided at the bottom of the vessel, so that the solids, they can be easily flown out from the bottom. That means the conical portion is available, and at the bottom part you can take out the material very conveniently. So in the upper section you can have the rectangular shape or cylindrical shape, and at the bottom you can have the conical section. Then the combined vessels, they are there. This is the figure for a combined vessel. That is the conical section at the bottom, then the cylindrical section with one diameter, then the another cylindrical section with the another higher diameter. There is a variation in the thick diameter that is observed. Now we can have the different geometries, like this is a reactive distillation column. At the bottom you can have a spherical shape, and in the upper section there is a separation unit. Means both the reaction and the separation that is taking place in a single vessel. So reaction is taking place in the bottom part, and the separation is taking place in the upper part, and the product is taken out from the top. These are generally preferred for the reactive distillation. The next, that is related to the based on the uniformity of the shape. That is the uniform shape faces and the non-uniform shape faces. The above this one we have talked is related to the non-uniform shapes. The reactive distillation is also a non-uniform in shape. Mostly it is the uniform shapes they are used. However, where is the different purposes are required, then the variation in the dimensions that can be there. Means the vapor load. In case of a distillation column of a crude oil, the variation in the load is there. There you can have the different dimensions. That is the different diameters of the vessel that can be used. Then based on the installation method, whether it is vertically installed or whether it is horizontally installed. Vertical installation as well as the horizontal installations that can be there. Now both these, they depending on the process requirement. The process defines this, whether I have to install the reaction vessel or any vessel horizontally or the vertically. For example, in case of a distillation called heat exchanger, the heat exchanger can be horizontally placed as well as can be vertically placed. In case of thermosiphon reboiling, the vertical heat exchangers, they are preferred. However, mostly the horizontal alignments, they are preferred for heat exchangers. Then based on the presence of the internal, whether it's the with internal and without internal. Generally the storage tanks, they are without any internals. Drums or tanks are there, these are mostly without internals. Then the with internals, you can have the different uh, reaction vessels, then the heat exchangers. In distillation, that can be trays, packings that can be there, then supports that will be there, then distribution grid will be there, then heating or cooling coils and heating and cooling arrangements that can be there, then support rings. These are the different distillation column accessories that you can say. Then the fractionators, Then other equipments, they can be also with some or the other internals. In case of a reaction vessel, you must have the agitator that will be there. Then based on the pressure bearing situations, the internal pressure, what will be the working pressure and what is the design pressure. The working pressure is, if it is 0.1 to 1.6, then it is the low pressure vessels. Then 1.6 kgs to 10 kgs per centimeter square, it's a medium pressure. High pressure is more than 10 kgs per centimeter square to 100 kgs per centimeter square, and ultra high pressure vessels with the greater than 100 kgs per centimeter square. Then it can be the internal pressure or external pressure. This is what we have talked as the internal pressure. The external pressure, that is nothing but the vacuum vessels, means the pressure less than the atmospheric pressure. The inside vessel, the pressure inside the vessel is less than the atmospheric pressure. However, there are certain situations where the inside pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure, but again outside that, the higher pressure that is used in case of a jackets, means jacket is at a higher pressure and the inside pressure, that can be the low pressure that is there. Then based on the wall thickness, the thin wall vessels and the thick wall vessels. The thin wall vessels, that is, it is the T upon D, thickness to diameter ratio should be less than 1 upon 10th, or thickness to radius ratio, that is less than 1 by 20. Means when you talk related to the diameter ratio, that is the diameter, outer diameter to the inner diameter should be less than the 1.2. Then the thick wall vessels, where the thickness to diameter ratio, that is greater than the 1 by 10, that means 0.1. Then based on technological of the processes, whether it's a reaction vessel, you are carrying out the reaction, that can be from small reaction vessels, say 50 liters capacity to 2 lakh liters capacity. Then the heat exchangers, whether it is vertically installed, whether it is horizontally installed, that is with internals. Then the separation vessels, that can be there. Then storage containers. Then based on the operating temperature, that can be below the atmospheric temperature, that means below 20 degrees Celsius. In India, we can say below 20 degrees Celsius. However, in the cold countries, it can be minus 20 degrees Celsius. The normal temperature so range, that is minus 20 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius. Medium temperature vessels, that is 150 to 450 degrees Celsius. And the high temperature vessels, that is more than 450 degrees Celsius. Then the based on fabrication method, whether it is welded, whether it is forged, whether it is a multi-layered vessel. When it is a welded vessel, mostly it is the welded vessels, they are preferred. These welded vessels are simple welding that is done. Then forged vessels, the forging is done. These are preferred for small vessels, or casted vessels are there. They are not used for, they are used for smaller dimensions. Then multi-layer vessels, you are that is done by wrapping, auto frittage. Then in case of a wrapping, it can be the wire winding that can be there, strip winding, or different layers that can be winded. Then it can be the based on manufacturing material, whether it is a metal or a non-metal that is used. In, if it is metal, then that metal is a ferrous metal or a non-ferrous metal. If it is a ferrous metal, then again, is it a steel, is it a mild steel, is it carbon steel, that has to be decided. In case of a non-metals, whether it is glass, plastic, that will be there. Then based on the usage mode, then fixed pressure vessels and mobile pressure vessels. Mostly it is the fixed pressure vessels. They are used in the industries. However, you require the mobile vessels for transportation purpose. In case of railway wagons, on the trucks, and similarly in case of the small industries, pharmaceutical industries, or in case of hospital industries. This is what the autoclave, one can see the autoclave which is used in the hospitals. So these are the different fixed vessels and the mobile vessels. Then based on the end construction, whether it is the open end vessel, that means in case of open to atmosphere, so that the natural evaporation that will takes place. This is what we observed in the concentration of the salt near the seashore. It is the open vessel. There we are not using the vessel itself directly. Fabrication vessel is not there. However, the water is collected and the natural evaporation that is taking place. Then the closed end vessels, mostly in where the chemicals they are used, that is the closed end vessels, they are preferred. This is what a reaction vessel with the gearbox and a motor, and inside that there is a shaft that is available. This is the most common figure which you can see in the industries.